I come from a little place called Koukourārata, based in Te Pātako o Ngāi Tahu, the food basket of Ngāi Tahu, the Banks Peninsula. It is my tūrangawaewae. It's nothing too fancy, just like me, but it is my identity. Koukourārata is my place to stand. It is my place to thrive. It is my place I can call home, and a place where I'm simply just me. To get to my tūrangawaewae, we have to drive up a big hill. At the peak of the hill, you can see into the harbour of Koukourārata. And in the distance, I see the moana, the ocean. As we drive down the hill, I continue to look at the moana, sizing the depth of it against the wharf. High tide, it is perfect to swim in. Low tide, there are delicious mussels to grab and eat. That is my identity. Where the whenua, the land, meets the moana, the ocean, there are beautiful rocky beaches. Where at low tide, you can find fish and crabs beneath rocks. I remember doing this daily growing up, having competitions with my cousins of who can find the biggest fish and who can hold the biggest crab. That is my identity. High tide, you can find skimming stones to throw. Again, I remember doing this daily growing up, having competitions with my cousins of who can throw the furthest stone. That is my identity. That wharf is my tūrangawaewae. When I stand there, I have no worries. I have no fear. I am the best me I can possibly be. Like a tree having its roots firmly planted in the whenua, my roots are firmly planted in the whenua and the moana of Koukourārata. To take that statement one step further, my whānau came together a few days after I was born to plant my whenua. A lot of you may be confused by this, as whenua is commonly translated into land, and you would be right. But the tradition follows by you planting the whenua, the placenta in which you were in for a mere 9 months, becoming the perfect you here today. The placenta that gave me life for 9 months was now planted beneath the harikiki bush. It was a way to give back to Papa Tuānuku, the God, the mother of our beautiful land here in Aotearoa. It is no coincidence the word whenua means both land and the placenta that gave us life. Like the roots of the harikiki, is firmly planted in the whenua I walk on, and the whenua that we thrive on. Soaking up the water in which I swim and we drink from, I am the land. I am the best me I can possibly be, because I have a tūrangawaewae. But a tūrangawaewae does not have to be a place where you live. My friend Connor, his tūrangawaewae is up north in Rotorua, but he's lived in Tāmati Christchurch for 15 years. My auntie Aroha, her tūrangawaewae is cooking in a kitchen for a whānau. It is just as simple as that. It's a place where you are you. And being Māori does not mean we're the only ones to have a tūrangawaewae. It is a place where you feel most connected. We all have a tūrangawaewae, you just may not know it yet. So I would like you guys to think of how amazing your tūrangawaewae is and what it could become if you believe you do not have one. But if you feel as if you don't, then are you truly comfortable with the person you are? Do you feel you're able to be your best self without having a tūrangawaewae to back you up? I say this because I know for a fact if I did not have the beautiful land of Koukourārata as my tūrangawaewae, I'd be lost. I'd feel uncomfortable. I'd never feel truly welcome. And rather than being the best version of myself, I'd be trying to be the best version of someone else, living my life through someone else's eyes. I guess this is why I feel so connected to the land and care so much about our environment. It is because it is where I am from and who I am. Like any relationship with a loved one, you put time and effort into making sure that they are okay. I have this relationship with the land. I am wanting to make sure that Papa Tuānuku was okay, but sadly, I know she is hurting at the moment. Māori see the land as a person, as Papa Tuānuku. The land shapes her body, and the rivers as her veins. Māori take this on and say in their mihi. A mihi is a greeting that acknowledges our tipuna, our ancestors, and the land they once thrived on. The land we once thrived on was our mountain, our maunga, and we saw the rivers as our own veins. So if we have polluted, dirty rivers, are we not just saying ourselves that our blood is dirty? I care so much because I do not want my whānau, My family growing up having dirty blood coursing through their veins, polluting them. 16 years ago, the Koukourārata awa needed to change. It was at its worst, had seen many better days. The water was murky, it was weed-clogged, there was no life. My whānau recognised this and knew it wasn't good enough. So around the time that I was being born, we decided to plant along our awa. We planted harekeke, tussocks, kōwhai trees and so many more. I remember a time when my Uncle Peter and I had to chase cattle out of our awa to protect what our whānau had once fought for many generations ago. Over the time of my life, I've seen my awa come back to life. And the river flow, you can see it breathing as if it's physically alive. This would have never happened if my whānau were indoors, disconnected from the world. It was our time to come alive as well. We saw for ourselves firsthand how Papa Tūānuku was suffering. If you saw an injured animal, you wouldn't turn away. If you saw a hungry child, you wouldn't turn away. So why now, when we see our land suffering, do we shrug our shoulders and turn away? I would like you guys to think, where do you spend most of your time? Is it in a mall? Is it in bed? Is it at school? Or is it outdoors? Luckily, I've been able to surround myself by the land I thrive on. Whether it's sitting on the rocks or the wharf, I take that time to feel the cool winds in my hair while tasting the salt in the air. Seeing the blue sky during the day or the stars at night, and while hearing the waves crash along our beautiful rocky beaches. When was the last time you were able to just relax and look up at the stars? When was the last time you felt the wind in your hair and tasting the air while hearing the waves crash? Could you get back in this relationship with Papa Tūānuku? Because these are only a few things Papa Tūānuku can offer us. So what more can we offer Papa Tūānuku? Because just how the land I thrive on shapes me, the land you surround yourself on will shape you. I believe if you are connected to your tūrangawaewae and have a relationship with it, you'll fight for what you believe in and definitely fight for that place. A tūrangawaewae means a place to stand. Where do you stand? Where will you make your stand? Ki u ki te pai, cherish what is good. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. Thank you. Hold on.